Well, we got another one coming in from Engwe. This is a company we've done quite a few reviews on. Wow, I can't even tell you. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 bikes. So in this case, we actually did a review on this model. This is an Engwe L20 with a twist.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
So what's the twist? The twist is this is an L20 2.0. They went ahead and did some upgrades compared to the original 20, and the original L20 was just a straight on step through bicycle. We enjoyed that part of the bike because of its height, and I thought it was kind of funny, and I actually made mention, I think, in the video that it looked like it was a folding bike when in reality it wasn't. This one now is a folding bike. Whenever you're ordering these, there's different ways to get them. Now, of course, we'll have links in the description. Use those links. There may be even a discount code available. But more importantly, whenever you're ordering it, look at some of the options as you're ordering it. I know that this comes with a pretty good sized battery, but just for a little bit more money, you can have even a bigger battery. And bigger is better when it comes to electric bike batteries. It just gets you that much further down the road. So we're going to go ahead and get this out of the box. There is some assembly required with this, even though it's a folding bike. A lot of people, they have a problem with, oh, I can't imagine assembling it. It seems like a lot of work. However, Engwe has a full-on assembly video to show you step by step how to put this thing together. That is great. Whenever the manufacturer is showing you how it is put together, you don't have to watch us YouTubers do it and maybe mess something up, because I just literally saw a YouTuber just watching a video of assembling a bicycle, and he did it wrong. It was flat out wrong. The way he assembled the front wheel was wrong. So again, just watch that video, and in the meantime, let's get this thing out of the box. Let's look at the packaging. So here you see I cut the box down the side. Now this is something you probably don't want to do, just in case you have a problem with the bike and you may have to ship it back. In your case, you may just want to take it out of the box complete, leaving the box complete. But I want to show you this as a cutaway so you can see how the packaging is. But this is like a pretty dense foam, and then you of course have these black, really dense foam blocks. Looks like it's put together pretty well inside the packaging. Whenever you're cutting the box open or trying to get to stuff, make sure you don't cut it into anything that's critical. Obviously the tires and cables. And then this is one of the things I look for right away, and that's going to be the components. All right, so pretty much the usual suspects. You have folding pedals, because this is a folding bike. And take a look here. These are the type that has the trigger on it, so you trigger it and then they'll pivot. A little bit different some of the other ones that you actually push the pedal in. Pretty good. I've never had any issues with either one of them. They're heavy, they're thick. I mean, they definitely look like something that you can abuse a little bit. Complimentary toolkit, which I will use these wrenches to do some of the assembly. We have a bike pump. Look at that. Now this is something, because everything extra that they're giving you should add to the price of the bike, but the price of the bike is really low. I'll tell you that right now. You've got a 58.8 volt 2 amp charger, standard charger. You're pretty much going to open this up. I'm going to show it to you and you're going to go, oh yeah, I've seen those before. Yeah, that's it. Just a regular plain brick. That's all you need. As far as charging time, you're probably, if the battery's completely dead, you're probably talking about 6.5 hours. Here's going to be some wire ties for cable management, or zip strips as we like to call it, because they make a zipping sound when you put them on. And again, that's going to be for cable management. And then the user manual. Now in the user manual, They give you a lot of good information. This isn't just fluff information as far as, in this case, let's say the display, how to change the settings on the display. For example, there's a walk mode. You need to know how to do that. Again, all this is in here. Again, don't skip over this. Here it is in all its glory. Notes, definitely make sure that you check the pressure in your tires. Also, depending on the state of charge, you may want to charge this before you try to even ride it. Of course, there's going to be a couple keys that are included. Now those keys, what they do is they lock the battery in place. They also turn on the battery. They turn off the battery. To remove the battery, of course, you just turn the key off, remove the key, tilt the seat, which has a built-in shock in it, which is kind of cool. You know, they want to save on the cost of the bike, so they took off any kind of rear suspension that they may have wanted to add, and they put on this seat. But anyways, the seat looks pretty comfortable, and it's got some of these poly shocks that are kind of built into this, poly supports, and then the seat itself is pretty thick. But anyways, key off, a couple clicks, and then you just lift it out. Now, what's that good for? Well, if you're folding and unfolding the bike, it helps with the weight because you remove the weight of the battery, obviously. The other thing that it does is allow you to take the battery in to charge it. And in our case, I'm going to tell you that, I'm talking mainly to the RVers. This being about 68 pounds, you can manage it. It does fold. Once it folds up, with the battery off, of course, you're going to lose a few pounds off that 68. I would assume at that point in time, the bike would only weigh about 60 pounds. And then you can take the battery in the RV, where most likely you have your charger anyways plugged in. So do you have to? No. The port for charging is right on the side. It's right there. So you can leave it on the bike. You can charge it that way. It does have a nice derailleur guard to help whenever you're loading and unloading, because you don't want to damage your shifter. The rack on the back, 25 kilograms, that's about 50 pounds that it can handle. Big 180 millimeter brakes. Now, they're not hydraulic. Again, cost saving. This is all about cost saving. Now, they list this bike for riders as short as 5'4". HEIDI would have a hard time with this. Reason being is that shock. That shock is definitely a height adder to the bike. Now, you don't have to run a shock post if you don't want to. This seat will fit on pretty much anything. So you can remove the shock post, get a standard seat post in there that's the right size, obviously. And at that point, you can have yourself a seat that is much, much lower. I mean, the height of the seat would probably only be about this high at that point, so I'm guessing about 5 inches shorter than what that is right there. They do give you bolts and bosses on the front, so there is an optional rack you can install. The headlight on this seems to be pretty bright. It's not too bad. We're not in really direct sunlight here or anything like that, but the bike looks nice. I'm glad I got a green color. I'm tired of getting black bikes, to tell you the truth. The brake light is a tail light also. You can see there. The display is relatively easy to read. I'll have to say with the light on, let's see here if I turn the light off. It gets brighter. I've never really cared for that. They should just leave that brightness all the time. The only reason is because, here, I'll try to shade this for you guys so you can see what the display looks like a little bit more. And there is a cover on this right now. It looks a little better with the cover off, but the thing is most of us ride with our headlights on. We're trying to be seen as much as possible, and that's even during the day. Now, I know it's an automatic dimmer situation there, but still. You got a bell? Very nice bell. One of the nicest bells I've ever had. Very, very non-obtrusive or intrusive. People on bike trails hate it when you come up behind them and hit a horn. Bang! This is a 3/4 throttle. It does get up pretty good. It does 20 miles an hour on throttle only. Once the throttle is gone out of use and you're using the pedals the way you're supposed to, this will do 28 miles an hour. That's a pretty good speed on this little bike. Now the weight rating on this one's only about 264 pounds. I'm over that. I'm still going to ride it, but I'm over it. So maybe we might break it. I doubt it. It looks like it's made very well, but they did put a weight limit on there for a reason. It's a nice looking bike. It's just like the L20 that we reviewed before, but again, this one is got a folding mechanism built into it, which makes it a little bit easier to transport. So let's go ahead and take this thing for a ride, see, just give you a POV view on it, and you can listen to what it sounds like and how it handles our rough road out here. Boy, this thing's got some really good low end power on it, even though it may only get me up to 20 with the throttle. This thing really wants to take off. So this was a surprise. The power on this, the low end grunt, is really pronounced. The controller does a really good job though of bringing that power in smoothly, but I noticed that when I twisted the throttle, it jumped. It wanted to take off on me in a manner that I didn't expect, and that's because that 750 watt motor that's in the back, you know, that's 1,150 watts peak. That's a lot. That is a lot for that motor. Now, options, you can get a bigger battery. As I mentioned, you can get a 16 amp hour battery, but this 13 amp hour battery, you'll get quite a bit out of it. It all depends on how you ride. So you're gonna have to experiment with that. The thing that I didn't really care for was I was on the throttle only like I always do. And of course, it only goes up to 20 miles per hour on just throttle only. So even though I was holding the throttle, I decided to go ahead and start to pedal. And the pedal assist that brings it up to 28 miles an hour, a true 28 miles an hour, did not want to assist until I let go of that throttle. So you can't have both on. Don't get me wrong, you'll still have power. It's just going to be limited to the 20 miles per hour. The ride was comfortable. I've got mixed feelings about the seat post. You know, I weigh 280 pounds, and that seat post has a pretty stiff ride to it. You know, I don't necessarily compress that seat post. If it was up to me, I would say get rid of that seat post and that suspension deal and just go to a normal seat post. That way you get a lower ride height. The seat's fine. The seat is very comfortable, but you get a lower ride height, and you will also not have that seat post compressing in weird just weird ways. I mean, it did soften the ride, but I would rather just have my butt absorb it. Front shocks are great. Brakes are good. Not bad. You know, the fact they're not hydraulic is a way to cut down costs, but sometimes that takes away from the bike's ability to stop. That's not the case here. The display is pretty average. That's what we see with a lot of them. And the rack on the back that's included, I think that's a great idea. A lot of these bike companies initially, I remember that you wouldn't even get fenders or a rack. Now they're all including fenders and racks. The best part about this, again, they should be a link in the description. You should get some sort of discount code in addition to, hopefully. But at the time of filming, this thing was $799. That is very, very inexpensive for a folding bike. And Engwe's not a fly-by-night. You know, they're a company that you can call and you can get customer service and you can order parts, all that stuff. Ergonomic-wise, this is good. I just like my seat to be a little lower. Now, those were all my preferences. A lot of people ride their bikes with their seats up and the handlebars up. Can these handlebars go up? Yes, they can. They can go up quite a bit. They can go up to, I don't know, probably about that much more higher just by opening that clasp. Same with the seat. You can put the seat up too. So taller riders, no issues. But yeah, for me, I like to sit a little bit lower and just enjoy the ride. So again, the links are in the description below. Hopefully this is something that you might want to jump into. Like I said, Engwe's been with us for a while and we've always had good luck with all their bikes. I don't think I've ever had one single issue with any of them. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.